Ladies and gentlemen, returning back to the office, is it even worth it? We know that the pandemic is still here and inflation is off the charts. So, how are people feeling now? Paying the astronomical gas prices, food going up. Is it really worth it? Would it be more cost effective to just work from home? So employers plan still, many of them are planning to return back to the office and bring their employees back. And it's already strained because we know the pandemic is still here and there are demands that the workforce return. But what are they really returning with? We know the pressures of inflation, the cost of a daily routine, travel, coffee, food is a lot more pricier now than the shutdown 2 years ago. Consumers are 8.5% higher on the things they are paying for. And that's even a month ago. And wow, they said the inflation is at the same level that it was in 1981. While office occupancy has crept up to its highest level since March of 2020, above 40%, some workers have experienced the sticker shock. It's a perfect storm. So they're saying that we are ready to return back to work, but now can people afford to return back to the office? The average gas price in America has hit $4.33 a gallon last month, compared with $2.60 in 2019. This is according to AAA. The sweet green salad that now costs $11.95 was a lot cheaper a year ago. And the potbelly sandwich was $7.65. And even the Dunkin' latte is up. It's now $3.99 and it was $3.70. And with the labor market still tight, employers are fielding calls from workers asking for more flexibility or raises. The talent shortage has boosted pay, but not enough to keep up with the pace of inflation. Wages grew by 5.6% in the last year. Some employers, they are planning to give raises, recognizing that their workers could easily be poached. Okay, Order My Gear, for example, an e-commerce platform based in Dallas, another city hit hard by inflation, recently tripled their budget that it allocated for compensation increases in the previous year. Other businesses said they had not yet adjusted wages as they wait to see whether inflation cooled. But for those companies asking their staff to give up the flexibility of remote work, the pressure to raise wages has grown. Remote work started off as a safety measure. Yes, during the pandemic, it was one of those things you were lucky if you were able to work from home, because at that time when companies closed, a lot of times all of the employees lost their jobs. So if you were able to switch over to remote work and keep yourself gainfully employed, that's a good thing. All right. So some workers they started seeking shorter commute times, and many of them just wanted to work at home, especially during the first lockdown. Some companies were offering gas cards, transportation vouchers, or even share ride options. Manpower Group has received 5 times as many comments from workers saying raising costs were affecting where and whether they worked as it did in the same period last year. It was, I don't want to make the commute. Now I can't afford to make the commute because everything has gone up. So, Edith Jacobson, 29, a designer who commutes 3 days a week from Washington to Baltimore, used to be able to fill up her tank with her 2006 Subaru for roughly $45. Now she says it is $70 to fill that same car tank. When she takes the train, her employer often covers the cost of her ticket, but that means a commute of 1.5 hours with a 6 a.m. wake up. Then there is the impossibility of finding affordable lunches in Washington. She used a budget for $10 for lunch. Now she allots $15 because of the inflation. On a recent Thursday afternoon, leaving her DuPont Circle office in search of a sandwich, Jacobson tried to quiet her nerves as she prepared to ask her boss for a raise. 4 hours later, she received good news, a $4,000 salary bump. I just walked away feeling appreciated. All right, well, that might be good for you, but that's not the case for everybody. So companies are trying to head off the clash of forces of inflation and return to office expensive, uh, with attempts to make the transportation and food more affordable. The Bureau of Labor Statistics noted in its recent Consumer Price Index that the price of food at workplaces had declined even as broader meal prices went up, most likely a sign of company widespread free lunch programs. Take order, um, My Gear in Dallas, which recently told its 165 employees that by June, many would be expected to begin coming into the office, at least part time. So, I don't know. We'll see how this turns out with people returning and the high costs out here. I know a lot of people will not be happy. In other workplaces, inflation has become a factor that reduces the RTO appeal. So, one company in Dallas told its 2,300 employees in December that the most would have the option to stay remote, but it reopened the office in January for those who wanted to use it. All right. So, this Dallas company said they did not yet increase wages to the rising consumer prices. We're waiting a little bit to see if it normalizes before we make those types of adjustments. Uh-huh. Still, many managers making decisions on return to office plans aren't immune to the stresses of rising prices. And they know that employees who are paid less than them are even more likely to feel the pain at the pump or coffee shop. So, at a recent work function, they were listening to complaints from colleagues about the daily costs of commuting and food. And most people, of course, were complaining about the gas price. My gas and lunch, I'm paying $70 to go to work. And it adds up when you're saving that for 2 years. Well, hopefully, if you do go back, they will offer you a decent raise to keep up with the inflation. But yeah, I mean, that really, in my opinion, changes everything, because I still say it would probably benefit companies if they let people stay at home instead of paying all this money to show up at the office every day. But y'all will just have to tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.